Hey, come see us on tour in Los Angeles, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Get your tickets at jimmydore.com. That's where they're the most affordable. Joe Biden, remember when Joe Biden said he would not be doing preemptive pardons? Just remember.
President Trump is reportedly considering a wave of preemptive pardons. Does this concern you? All these preemptive pardons?
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. You're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons.
So, but then again, Joe Biden swears he doesn't recollect swearing in. So when he says you won't see me doing that, it's only because he thought he could get away with it. So here it is. Breaking. Joe Biden has pardoned his family.
His whole family?
Executive grant of clemency. James B. Biden, Sara Jones Biden, Valerie Biden Owens, John T. Owens, and Francis W. Biden. Plus, he already did Hunter.
Mm-hmm. What are they involved in? I thought it was just Hunter, not the whole goddamn family.
Hang on. What happened to this? Here, you want to know what they're involved in? So what? First of all, President Biden pardons family members in final minutes of presidency. So this is just the president's friends and family pardon plan. That's all this is. And the side benefit is protecting the president himself from the guilt by association on top of his actual guilt. But you want to know what he did? Here, I got this. I was watching Due Dissidence, and they pulled this up from Kanoka the Great. 6 major banks, including J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo, filed over 170 suspicious activity reports with the Treasury Department, alleging that the Biden family's involvement in money laundering, human trafficking, and tax fraud.
Can you say that again? What?
6 major banks, including J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo, filed over 170 suspicious activity reports with the Treasury Department, alleging that Biden's family's involvement in money laundering, human trafficking, and tax fraud.
So that's why Jill wore that panda costume at Halloween, huh?
Congressional investigations uncovered that foreign funds from Russia, China, and Ukraine were funneled through 20 Biden-linked shell companies before being distributed to 9 Biden family members, including a grandchild. That's not the grandchild he doesn't acknowledge.
Right, not that one.
None of the Bidens registered under the Foreign Agent Registration Act as required by law, which is what they got Trump's first campaign manager on and put him in jail. In other words, the Biden family, who live by their own set of rules and avoid paying their fair share of taxes, are the very ultra-wealthy oligarchs President Biden warned the nation about.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with the human trafficking as long as they pay taxes. That's a good point. What the fuck? Human trafficking? So you know what that means? Because I already knew this about Hunter. His family worked for the CIA. That's why they thought they could get away with that. Because that's who runs that.
This is amazing.
I can't believe it says human trafficking. I'm blown away by that.
It says it. So President Joe Biden issued pardons to several close family members Monday in the final minutes of the president. My family has been subjected to unrelenting attacks and threats. Really? Your poor family's being accused of crimes they actually committed?
Was it people who you trafficked? Piece of shit.
Is that... So it's called an attack when someone points out the crimes that your family committed. So
what kind of garbage are you that Chase Bank, which has a literal swastika as their logo, was disturbed by the records and thought you might be involved in human trafficking? You know how big a scumbag you got to be for the banks to write a report on it? They do business with the worst cartels in the world. That's CIA, that's why.
So Biden's pretending that he has to protect them from these partisan politic attacks with the lawfare after they just did that to Trump for 3 straight years.
Yeah,
This-
I get a little partisan on human trafficking. I apologize.
That is why I'm exercising my powers under the Constitution to pardon James Biden, Sara Biden, Valerie Biden Owens, John T. Owens, and Francis W. Biden. Holy shit.
You have 20 shell companies? Dude, like, really corrupt companies don't have 20 shell companies.
I know.
You know who has that? Drug dealers and human traffickers.
He says the issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that they engaged in any wrongdoing, nor should acceptance be misconstrued as an admission of guilt for any offense. Well, unfortunately, his own Justice Department, Joe Biden's Justice Department, actually says the opposite. That says if you do take a pardon that's in fact, the defendant who would first have to accept the pardon necessitates a confession of guilt. That's his own Justice Department. Biden's own Justice Department said that if you accept a pardon from the president, you first thing you have to do is accept your guilt. Biden Justice Department tells court an acceptance of a pardon is a confession of guilt. His own Justice Department just said that. So, of course, now every asshole in the media and every asshole I know in Hollywood is going to memory hole that and say that his Justice Department never said that. Oh, well, that's all, or it's somehow different.
I hope Trump parades these people out with the crimes they did. Let's say you pardon them and whatever. I hope he releases every last bit of hidden evidence that we know the FBI covers up, such as your Epstein shit and your JFK. I hope he releases all of it about these people. And then it won't matter if they're in prison or not, because there ain't nowhere they could go, is there?
So just keep in mind, you're forgetting the most important part here, Kurt. It only counts as bad when a Republican does it or someone associated with Trump. You weren't supposed to think about this. You're just supposed to listen, and you're just supposed to go along. So if you're starting to doubt that this is the way to do it, just have coffee with one of your friends who also doesn't know anything and allow them to convince you.
Maybe in a car with Seinfeld.
Yeah, maybe in a car with Seinfeld. The 5 preemptive pardons were issued to James Biden, Joe's younger brother, his wife, so Valerie Biden Owens, Joe's younger sister, John T. Owens, Valerie's husband, and Francis W. Biden, Joe's younger brother. So 2 of Joe's brothers' wives, and 2 of Joe's brother, or one of his brother's kids. Wow.
Gee, fact,
talk about
son,
talk about a crime family.
Well, not Bo. Bo, the dead one, he was a good guy, and he prosecuted human traffickers.
He was the one.
He died suddenly after DuPont was prosecuted by him. It wasn't Iraq, I don't think.
At least the Munsters had one normal person in their family. And
he was the Maryland. Bo was the Maryland of them.
Yeah, Bo was the Maryland. Yep. I believe in the rule of law. I'm optimistic that the strength of our legal and policy. So it's just all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just all, I believe in the rule of law, except now because, it's my crime family.
Wait, Jimmy, do you think having open borders might facilitate a human trafficking network by any chance?
Would you think?
That's kind of odd that the border suddenly swung open and Chase Bank and all the other, these are banks, the most evil things there are in the world, are like, this is really suspicious.
So he says,
because I never heard of this until just now. The rest of his family.
Listen to this. Even when individuals have done nothing wrong and will ultimately be exonerated, the mere fact of being investigated or prosecuted can irreparably damage their reputations and finance. Exactly. Let's stop trying to nitpick and find guilt in doing illegal deals in the Ukraine and having crack-fueled orgies with underage girls. We have more important things to worry about, like Agenda 2025.
Yeah. We're going to miss it at this rate with all your distractions you keep bringing up, Jimmy.
This comes after Biden issued a controversial pardon for his son Hunter in early December after tax evasion and federal gun charges. Biden had repeatedly said he did not plan to pardon Hunter. James Biden, 75, has especially come under fire from Republicans. Like, loosen up, everybody. Guns are as American as tax evasion. Am I right? Come on.
Yeah.
Of course, Joe Biden said he was not going to pardon his son, but then he forgot that Hunter Biden was his son and pardoned him anyway. He's got dementia. Yeah. He just forgot.
Yeah. Joe Biden's been dead for years.
Congressional Republicans have pressed the incoming Justice Department to bring charges against James Biden for allegedly lying to Congress as part of its impeachment inquiry into the outgoing president and his family. Really? No kidding. James Comer, the chair of the House Oversight Committee, wrote to incoming Attorney General Pam Bondi on Friday, seeking to hold James Biden accountable for having misled Congress regarding Joe Biden's participation in his family's influence peddling and deserving of prosecution under federal law. Son of a gun, huh, Kurt?
I'm just shocked that we all moved past the child trafficking part to like taxes and guns, because that is crazy that was in there. I'm blown away that was in a... Who tweeted that?
Kanoka the Great. Everything Democrats and corporate media falsely claimed Trump would do with the pardon power to destroy democracy and the rule of law, like pardoning his family members and all his political allies, were things Trump did not do. They were, however, all things that Biden did. This is up is down, black is white, in is out. And this is what I was trying to explain to Cornel West when he kept saying Joe Biden wasn't a fascist, but Donald Trump was. And I had to school the Harvard professor that he was being an idiot. On purpose, by the way, because he knew. There's no chance in hell that Cornel West didn't know that Joe Biden is a fascist and a corrupt criminal, career criminal, and a racist. There's no way he didn't know that. He just didn't want to get himself excluded from polite society. Just minutes before Trump is inaugurated, Biden pardons his entire immediate family for crimes that may or may not have been committed beginning on January 1st, 2014. Why? Because this is when Biden began using his family members as bagmen for money laundering in Ukraine.
Oh, that's CIA. That's what I was talking about.
His family members were used to collect and funnel money and then relay it back to Joe, 10% for the big guy.
Yeah.
Biden is not covering up his family members' crimes. Biden is covering up his own crimes that he used his family members to carry out. This is pardon for Biden and all his deep state associates. 2014 is when the Obama regime turned Ukraine into an offshore playground for racketeering. This is why all the pardons begin in 2014. It's all about covering up their crimes in Ukraine.
Wasn't that Crimea? Was 2014 when they took Crimea?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think that's when they did the coup in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I think that's when the Maidan coup happened.
And Ukraine's a big trafficking country, ain't it?
No one is above the law except me and my entire family.
Huh.
He's like Oprah. You get a pardon, and you get a pardon, and you get a pardon. When I say pardon,
you get trafficked. That's another Oprah.
when somebody in Biden's family says pardon me, they mean it. I didn't do anything wrong, but I need a pardon, like in Monopoly when you get out of jail free. Yes, officer, I was doing 150 on the 405, but here, let me show you this document. I have a pardon.
Yeah, I need a pardon for members of my family you didn't even know existed until now.
They didn't even know existed. They're all criminals. Joe Biden's whole family are all criminals, from Hunter to Joe to his brother to his other brother. To his niece,
his surviving family, the one that was good,
the one that was good
died
dead
suddenly. Right? What happens in a crime family when one guy's not in on the crimes and doesn't want to be part of it? You think he lives? I don't think he does.
Hey, I'm a big fan of Morning Kick. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I know I did. I recently saw a video that he made, and I was shocked. He's in his 80s and he's still kicking butt and working out and staying active. That's for real. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. That's how old I am. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Jimmy. chuckdefense.com/Jimmy, or by clicking the link below in this video. It'll change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Jimmy, and click on the link in the description below to watch the video. You won't believe how simple it is. I watched the video. I watched it. Just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old, and he's got more energy than me. That's true. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. Watch his method by clicking the link in the description box below. chuckdefense.com/Jimmy. Hey, come see us on tour in Los Angeles, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Get your tickets at jimmydore.com. That's where they're the most affordable.